universal sign language based on Esperanto. And to be completely honest, most of what I'm doing, I'm approaching it out of curiosity. The only thing that I would say is a strong position that I'm willing to defend is the utility of global communication. That's what I really believe in. However that's done, whether it be spoken, written, or signed. I just believe that everyone on Earth being able to communicate with each other is a useful thing to do. But when it comes to the sign language I'm creating based on Esperanto, number one, I started the project about a year and a half ago, and it was an extension of a project called Signilo. And the original creators of that project have remained anonymous for over 30 years, and it's incredibly hard, I would say impossible to find them. I've looked over and over and over again, and I've bumped across, or I've bumped into many other people that are Esperantists who have also tried to reach out to them. No one knows where to find them or who they are. So there are some contradictions in their work. They have a 400-page PDF file where they pretty much just documented the creation of their version of signed Esperanto. But long story short, I want to start with the most intuitive signs because there's a lot of signs in, I guess, naturally occurring sign languages that follow a structure or a set of rules or a pattern. So I'm trying to avoid those at first. For example, and I would say even several of the sign languages I've looked at, they have a lot of similar signs. But for example, if you're talking about a person or a type of person or a profession, they'll usually have the sign for an action associated with it, and then the sign for a person, an ASL. So you'll have, and forgive me, I don't know which one is which sign language because I look at a lot of them, but say cooking person would be a chef. So I'm trying to avoid signs like that that seem to have a structure like that. And I'm going to be prioritizing the most visually intuitive signs. And if you look back at some of my older content, I've actually gone out and did in-person interviews. And I just walked up to, I don't know how many people, I'd say about 100 people, and just showed them basic signs. And with 100% accuracy, people were guessing the signs intuitively. So that's why I want to start there. First one is walking. Super, super simple. And that's a shared sign in several sign languages across the world for obvious reasons. It's incredibly easy to see. I see two people just hopped on. I'm making a universal sign language. What does this mean? That's correct, it means walking. Another one is to fly. I'm focusing on the most visually intuitive signs first. That's my priority. And I'm curious if y'all have questions. You got a question? I'm making a universal sign language based on Esperanto. Have anybody ever heard of the language Esperanto? It's a universal auxiliary spoken language. And our intention is to create a universal sign language based on that language. And honestly, it's also addressing some of the criticism of Esperanto, being that it's Eurocentric. What's this say? You look like my gay neighbor. Is he handsome? He must be. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, if you don't know, Esperanto was created about 200 years ago, a little less, but it is the world's auxiliary spoken language, and it is the most incredibly easy language to learn. But the criticism it often receives is that it's Eurocentric, meaning that many of the words, much of the structure of the language, mimics European languages. So what we're trying to do, what does this say? This message is held for reviews. Someone said something offensive. It's okay, be offensive. But anyway, if you're new here, what does this sign mean in our universal sign language? That's pretty much what we're doing. I'm European. Okay, cool. I just joined. What am I talking about? I'm making a universal sign language, my friends, and it's based on Esperanto. And I know that's not how naturally occurring sign languages are formed. I would say largely they're created by deaf people for deaf people. This actually serves a little bit different. Wow, what are y'all saying here? I don't know if they're handsome. I only see them from the back and when I'm hitting it. Are you also gay? I'm kind of confused. It's okay if you are. But yeah, universal sign language based on Esperanto. What does this mean? I imagine everyone knows because I've already went out and did street interviews and 100% of the people knew immediately that it was walking. And same thing with this one, which is to catch. If I do this one, just to throw, I'm sure every single person knows what I'm doing here. And we're trying to take advantage of the visually intuitive nature of sign languages. That's what we're doing. Anybody have a question? Lily Dukic. Cool. What do you think's cool about it? By the way, I don't think anybody was here when I first started the video, but the only real thing, the only strong opinion that I'm willing to defend is that global communication is useful. The utility of everyone on Earth being able to communicate with each other. I think it's absurd that we've pretty much been a civilization for 5,000 years, and I think it's absolutely absurd that we still, collectively as a species, can't communicate with each other, especially with the tools we have now and the and the resources we have now. It just seems absurd that we haven't accomplished that. And we have a way to do it. We have an incredibly easy spoken and written language called Esperanto that everyone can learn incredibly easily. And we're creating a tool as an extension of that. So, yeah, that's our plan. It's called Signilo. By the way, every word in Esperanto that ends in ilo is a tool. So it really means a tool for signing. That is the meaning of the name Signilo. Is anybody a Esperantist or a language enthusiast? Hablo un poco español también. Estoy aprendiendo poco y poco. And obviously I speak English a little bit better than Spanish. And I've also been learning Esperanto for about, I guess about 3 or 4 months. It's so easy. Everyone should learn it. All right, let me see if I can find some more signs. Does anyone want to try and guess? It should be incredibly intuitive, but can anybody tell me what this means in sign language? And I say sign language like there's only one, there's hundreds of them, but that's a pretty common sign in all of them. And that's pretty much what we're trying to capitalize on. Okay.
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises, and turn website layouts into a perfect.
That's all I got for now.